Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the video. As we had recorded a couple of weeks in advance because of being out of state, this is the first time that I've sat behind the camera in recent days, and a lot is happening. I will admit to you that I really wanted to get on here fast. I was thinking we'll record the video actually last Friday or Saturday, and I didn't do that. And I think that was the right thing to do. I have said this before, and I will say it to you again. It frustrates me greatly that ministries, and in my immaturity years ago, I was the same type of a person, and thank God we didn't have videos available to us. But everybody wants to jump on and profess themselves as prophets, and my Facebook page, which I hate anyway, but my Facebook page is just loaded, just absolutely loaded. This is biblical times. This is the end of the world. This is the... And everybody takes advantage of circumstances that are going on around us to try to get somebody to view them or to get their few minutes of fame. I'm not interested in a few minutes of fame. I think we should be warning people of what is going on, but we shouldn't just wait till events happen so that we can jump on and be all dramatic and everything. We should be warning them all of the time. And I think that I am not being out of line to say that the Warrior Sword Ministry has done that. That we have spoken very clearly and openly about the circumstances that are going on. People may wonder, why don't you speak to the politics much anymore? Because the politicians aren't listening to me. And so it makes no difference, and I will say things in this video, I think anyway. It makes no difference if I speak to our president or our Supreme Court or our Congress, because they won't listen, they won't hear what I say, they don't care what I say. So I speak to the circumstances of the people that are actually listening. When I went to the restaurant this morning, the waitress was actually listening to Focus on the Family, I believe it was anyway, and they was talking about the problem that we have with anxiety in our society. Anxiety is just raging among people, even Christians. Christians are showing that anxiety, and I see that in the circumstances as people that I know are good Christians. I'm not questioning their Christianity at all. I know they are good Christians. Oh, Mike, is this the end? What are we going to do? I don't want to see the end come. People praying for things that asked God to stop what he said was going to happen. These things must come to pass. Jesus, in talking in Matthew 24, didn't say, well, if circumstances are such and such in the world, because the world doesn't dictate to God what God is going to do. God dictates what God is going to do. And he said, these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Things are setting up for the end to come. Is the end coming? I don't know. And I'm not going to play those games of drama and then say, you need to send us $1,000 to our ministry. I wish. I want to tell you the truth. And I think we're instructed in the scripture. It doesn't say, pray for the peace of America. It doesn't say, pray for the peace of the world. It says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, my friends. The only place that we are instructed, but we know, take this to heart. And so I think we should be praying, but take this to heart. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction comes. The world is shaking. It has been shaking for a long time. And my concern has been with the church and the attitude of the church. And with my great nation and the attitude of my great nation. The first time that I have had notes, you can't read them off of the camera. The first time that I have had notes for a message in several weeks, because most of the messages have come just from the heart. And I praise God for that. But I wanted to have some thinking there in what I wanted to talk to you about today. And yes, I'm talking about the circumstances that are going on. But I want to deal with these attitudes, the anxiety, men's hearts failing them for fear because of what is coming upon the world. And it is coming. You aren't going to change that. Judgment is coming, and the judgment begins in the house of the Lord that has completely turned its back upon God. And mankind has been doing this all the way back. I'm reading from Exodus chapter 16, verses 8 to 9. And Moses said, this shall be, not this may be, this shall be, when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us. Your murmurings, but are against the Lord. And Moses spake unto Aaron, say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he has heard your murmurings, the fussing and the complaining. It was just a few days. After the Red Sea parted in front of Israel, all of Egypt is drowned in the Red Sea. Israel walked across on dry land. All of Egypt is drowned in the Red Sea. All of their army and their troops and their Pharaoh and all of that. And within a few days, Israel is murmuring against God. Oh, they think that they're murmuring against Moses and Aaron. What'd you do? They say this all the time through this entire thing. Moses, what'd you do? You brought us out of Egypt where we had everything we wanted and brought us to a place where we're going to all die because we don't have food to eat. We don't have drink to drink. A few days. Can you imagine watching the Red Sea part in front of you? And in a few days, they're fussing at God and murmuring against God. I don't want to be a drama preacher anymore. I don't want to get in front of the camera and make a big deal and say, oh, we've got the end of the world is coming, folks. You got to... The end of the world very well may be coming. But God controls that. We need to control our attitudes. We need to recognize that God has not lost control. Iran is not in control. Donnie Trump is not in control. America is not in control. And even Israel is not in control. God is in control. And he knows exactly what is happening. Jesus spoke it some 2,000 years ago. This is what's going to be happening before I come. We should be warning people. Jesus is coming, folks. I don't know when, but Jesus is coming. See, the warnings are not given, and if they are given out of anger or hatred, then our warnings mean nothing. But the watchman sitting on the wall is held accountable if he does not put the trumpet to his mouth and sound the trumpet. Hey, guys! It's on the horizon. Years ago, in the middle of the COVID thing that was going on, I was saying to you, the Chaldeans are not coming. They're here. And America is fixing to make decisions, and everybody mocked me and laughed at me, and then the elections came, didn't they? One of the most corrupt elections in the history of our country. Now, Mike, are you no. Our country, and let me bring you to this, and this may end up being two parts, I don't know, but let me bring you to this. One of the little girls that I am dealing with on a regular basis, she said to me again on Sunday, "You're one of the people that we miss when you don't come in." I'm dealing with this little girl that is an open lesbian with a partner that is an open atheist. And this little girl is saying to a preacher, "We miss you when you don't come in." She asked me about the lifestyle that she's living. I said to her, "I will never mistreat you. I will never be disrespectful to you. But let me tell you something. I will tell you the truth. The lifestyle that you are living will send you to hell." Straight words. Why does she still miss this preacher when he doesn't come in? Because she knows that I care about her. You see, because we warn, it doesn't mean that we don't care. When we do care, we speak the words of warning and say what we are doing is not according to God's will. Most of the denominations, if not all of the denominations, have completely turned their back on God. They are not teaching Bible at all. They don't have kingdom-mindedness at all. Kingdom-mindedness does not close down the churches. Kingdom-mindedness continues to reach into the communities and help them to see Jesus. But we've lost this. Look at America. Let me tell you about what is happening in my own place. Now, let me ask you, is America, are we being lied to? Is America getting oil from Iran? Are we being lied to? We've been told that we aren't. So why does an attack on Iran over the last 4 days in my community, it just jumped another 40 cents this morning. Gas prices have gone up 80 cents. That's almost a third. In fact, it is a 33% increase in 4 days of where we were. If we're not getting gas and oil from Iran, then why does our attack on Iran have anything to do with the gas prices? It doesn't. But the American system is so corrupted that the gas companies will gain profit off of you if it means the destruction of our country. They could not care less. Listen to me, folks. America has been corrupted, and you're not going to drain the swamp, Mr. Narcissist, because the swamp includes your own party. We have had such a, and I'm sorry, but let me tell you something. Remember what Donnie said. It would have never happened if I was in office, and this war would be over with the next day if I was elected. It's been a year, Mr. Trump, and you told us that Iran's nuclear capacity was completely destroyed. And now, a month later, why am I so concerned about my great nation and the church? You've heard me quote the verses before, talking about that everything that can be shaken will be shaken until what is left can't be shaken anymore. And I think many of the nations around the world are already at that place. The Iranian church itself, one of the fastest growing Christian communities in all of the world, because they're underground. China, if you go to our website, thewarriorsword.org, and read our most recent newsletter that talks about China has been attacking the underground church, trying to destroy it in recent days. These places have been shaken and shaken and shaken until there's nothing that can be shaken anymore in them. You can't scare these people. Iran and its evil rulership, and I'm not talking political, I'm talking facts, have killed thousands of protesters of their own people. And they're celebrating all over the world right now. The only problem is that they've already got another Ayatollah that is trying to take over, because you're not going to fix the issue, Mr. Narcissist. I do not care. I do not care. Let me say it to you. I've got buddies watching this video that are full blast behind our president. That's fine with me. I've got buddies watching this video that don't like the president at all. That's fine with me. This is not about him. This is about the attitude that has so twisted our world into the place that we're ready for a beast to take over and give us this supposed peace, because we want peace at the sacrifice of everything. The denominations have accepted open abomination and sin into their midst, into their ministry, because they want peace with the world. They want peace with everything. There will be no peace till Jesus comes back. Because we human beings have no ability to have a lasting peace. It was a few days after they're playing their tambourines and, oh, we worship you, we worship you, we worship you. How many times can you sing the same line? 15,000 times you sing the same line and call it worship. Oh, God is so good. The horse and rider's thrown into the sea. And a few days later, they are accusing God of neglecting them. Mankind doesn't have the ability to have lasting peace in anything. So we have not only the circumstance that is going on with the United States and Israel and Iran. And let me tell you something, folks. That's where the heart of the end time is. I do not know. I do not know if this is the end time. I do not know if this is going to exceed into, but I'm telling you something. Iran and Russia were having their war tactic things, war games, whatever you want to call them, together. Russia has been interestingly silent in the middle of these attacks in Iran. Could it be possible that Putin and his evil, godless, antichrist government wanted to get rid of the Ayatollah? I don't know. But Russia has been interestingly silent. And we said this way back in, I think it's 2023, October 7th, when Iran itself, through Hezbollah, Hamas, whatever, invaded Israel, raped and slaughtered, took into captivity. One of the most horrible actions that has happened in recent times. And the Democratic Party and even many of my friends are still condemning Israel for the attack that happened to them. America is so, and let me tell you, it concerns me, folks. It really concerns me. I don't say this judgmentally. It really concerns me because I don't think that the shaking has taken America into the place that we realize we're still stomping around. I'm the powerful saint of God, and I can cast out everything around me, and God wants me to prosper, and I'm going to have all kinds of money and wealth and health. The shaking is just beginning. And it concerns me that the American church is not ready to face the shaking. I think that the Chinese Christians, the Nigerian Christians, the North Korean Christians, the people, the Iranian Christians, the ones that have gone through just terrible persecution, they're ready. They've dealt with the shaking. But the Americans are so caught up in their position and their prestige. I fear that we're not, folks. It concerns me. Let me say this so that you know that I'm not pointing my fingers at anybody but me. It concerns me how easy I go into despair. It concerns me how little it takes to shake my world. The devil has been on a full blast attack. And I should know that most people don't care. There are very, very few people out there, my friends, that you can call your friend. Because most people are acquaintances. And your enemies come from your own household. The people that you think are your friends, remember who it was that sold out Jesus? Oh yeah, the Pharisees and the Sadducees sent the troops, and who were the troops following? We've got to be alert to understand, and yes, things are shaking, and the ministry world is shaking, and I hope that you are hearing what I'm saying to you in this, because I don't want it to be something that sounds judgmental. I want it to be a cry from the wall, the trumpet sounding. Get yourself ready. What did Jesus say? It's recorded in Luke's version. When you see these things coming to pass, look up, for your redemption draws nigh. If you're sitting, wringing your hands, and I'm going to run out of time and I'm not going to keep going, I will have to do a part 2 of this to be able to get through it. But folks, things are shaking. It's not just Afghanistan and Pakistan are now at war with each other as well. Because what we weren't told in Afghanistan situation, and I remember when I was younger, I was praying against Russia. I'm not backing up Russia. I'm not patting Russia on the back. I was praying against Russia because they invaded Afghanistan. And it's like little tiny Afghanistan and Russia is invading them, and we need to pray. Afghanistan was crossing the border, doing all kinds of things to Russia when Russia finally said that's enough. And the Taliban in Afghanistan, which Joe Biden put back into power, has been crossing the border and making attacks in Pakistan. And Pakistan finally says, okay, we're tired of it. We're going to take care of this issue. We at least had Afghanistan in somewhat of a controlled position. And now the Taliban is right back to doing what they did to Russia that caused Russia to go in against them. And now Pakistan is going in against them because the Taliban are not good guys and they don't want peace. And Iran doesn't want peace. The leadership. That's not about the people. But it's about the leadership. They don't want peace. And the thing is that most of these protests in Iran, where they're out and shouting death to America, take a look at what the Iranian people are doing across the world. They're out waving Iranian, they're not anti-country. They're out waving their Iranian flags and giving praise to Donald Trump, which I don't apologize for that. I think Donald Trump has done some really good things. I appreciate some of the things he's done, but I'm not the greatest fan of Donald Trump. This video, if you listen, go back and listen. This video is not about singing the praises of a politician. But the Iranian people are out holding up pictures of Donald Trump, raising and waving their flag and giving thanks, while our politicians America's in a scary place. The church is in a scary place. And I fear that we are really, really good at waving the flag and saying, God is a man of war. Read it. Go back and read what Israel is singing. And Miriam and all of the women starts playing their tambourines. We've got a mighty God. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But most of the worship that is going on in America is Ichabod. The glory of the Lord has departed. Because God doesn't need me to sing 550 times, you are God, you are the great God. He knows who he is. And the problem with singing it 550 times is I shouldn't need to sing it 550 times to convince myself of who he is. He is the answer to it all. He is the great I am. And he said, all of this stuff must come to pass. There will be wars and rumors of wars. For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. I don't want to make a video to try to get Facebook to promote what I'm saying. I want to make a video, and I'm going to go in part 2 of this. I'm going to go on and read in Hebrews chapter 10 something that I think that we really, really, really need to hold on to. We can't turn away from the God of the universe, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And whether everybody likes it or not, Israel is still God's chosen nation and the center of all of prophecy. And I don't know why Russia is being silent, but they won't stay silent, because they're going to join together with old Persia, which is Iran. And if you think Iran is dead and out of the picture, think again. Because Mr. President told you that their nuclear capabilities was completely destroyed. And a few weeks later, we can't allow Iran to have nuclear weapons. And our gas companies take every opportunity that they can to rip you off as American people and raise the gas prices 33% in 4 days. And the church is busy worrying about how do we get homosexuals into the ministry. Mike, you're being judgmental. I don't have the right to set in judgment of anyone, folks. I've got enough to judge about myself that I could spend the rest of my life and then some just judging me. But the reality is that this is where we are. And it isn't always all going to end in one day after someone is elected. The world is shaking. Are you ready? Are you ready for Jesus to return? Part 2, next time.